Hey everybody, this is your host Chris G. This is your host from Blurred's Eye View, a program and a podcast that covers a multitude of things between pop culture, pop geek culture, and everything in between. And with me is my co-host, Darius Beeson Chambers. How's it going, Darius?
My guys, what's going on, people?
It's been great. As far as the geek world is concerned, it's been great. Been a lot of stuff for the past 2 weeks actually. And some of the news that come out of this past 2 weeks is the second episode of Stargirl. That stars Bree Bassinger, I do believe that's her name, and Luke Wilson, who's playing Stripe or Stripe C before, and now he's playing Stripe in the robot suit. It is a very good show. This is probably the sixth show to come out of Greg Berlanti from the Arrowverse on CW. Stargirl was created by the legendary DC writer Jeff Johns, who also helped co-create this show and actually helped create this character, which was based off his sister. And this show picks up several years later after the Justice Society dies. So here we are on episode 2. And Courtney is finding, not only did she already find the staff, which Stripesy has in his basement because he was Starman's sidekick, she's also, now the Cosmic Star actually answers to her. So he's kind of closeted training her. So they're kind of bringing back the Injustice gang of society to kind of find out they're like in a small town, Nebraska, I think it's called Blue City, if I'm not mistaken. And they're just kind of feeling the things out. And so far for it to be the second episode, and they're still catching a lot of people. It's the feel. It's almost like The Flash on a lighter tone because you are dealing with a younger actress, and she's in school and she's dealing with the bullies, and then she's finding out about Starman and she's playing with the Cosmic Staff. It's really good. It's fun stuff. Check that out. It comes on the DC Universe actually a day before, which is like a Monday. And it actually airs on CW that Tuesday. I have DC Universe, so I'm watching it a day early. So, so that's a good show. Last week, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returned.
Oh my God! Can I just say, I did because I was out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Full disclosure, I went out to PA, and the people I was staying with, the cable was down.
Oh,
So
man.
it is 9 o'clock, 9:30, and now I'm on Google. I'm searching like, how can I watch this show? Because I have to watch it. I've watched it from the beginning.
Right.
I've waited. It's been 2 years since the last episode actually aired. So I've been waiting to see what happens. They're in the past. So I'm like, how am I going to watch this? Turns out she had Xfinity. I was cool, got the code, watched it. Can I say it started off like on 100? Like they started out with a bang.
It did.
Face snatching, and if you haven't seen it, I don't care. It came on Friday, Wednesday.
The only thing I hate about it is that they put it on late. I'm like, it's their last season. Why are you putting it on 10 o'clock? I'm like, come on.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, on a Wednesday, right? I'm like, you're trying to murder. I'm like, we know it's the last season. Don't try to murder it so soon.
And that's what killed it because it started out on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday at 8. Then it went to Friday at 9. Then it went to Friday at 9 or 10. Because they were doing like back-to-back episodes at one point. It was like 9 to 10 and then 10 to 11. It's like, y'all killed it with the switch. Tuesday was that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Nothing really going.
And it
had prime real estate. And y'all switched it to Fridays.
And it was actually up against a lot of the CW shows, and it still fared well.
Yes. And I don't know whose bright idea was like, let's put it on Fridays. But the show was amazing. Coulson's back. For those who don't know, sorry. Again, it's Saturday. If you ain't seen it by now.
It's called a DVR, people. DVR and on demand.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Spoiler alert, people. This is what we forgot. Spoiler alert. So Coulson's back. May's knocked out in the beginning. Fitz is nowhere to be found. Simmons is there. You got Mac. You got Daisy or Quake, whatever you want to call her. And it's just I feel like it has that flow to where they're going to explain a lot in a little bit of time.
Yeah.
and get everybody caught up on behind the cap scenes from Endgame. I don't know how much they're gonna really show because I think this is like 20 years before, or at least 2 or 3 years before the SSR started. So Shield isn't even started,
Yeah.
but it looks promising for them to be able to go out on their own terms and to have a final season and to be able to do the final season the way they want to, because not many shows get that either a
Exactly.
final
That's
chance to
true.
finish their story arc or even to tell their story the way they want to in the end. It's just like they shoot a couple episodes and then that's it. And then next week it's like, oh yeah, they were canceled.
Yeah. 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 That it's. I'm waiting to see. Basically, the basis of this season is, in order to save Shield, they have to save Hydra. And if you
Which is
haven't, if you have not watched any Marvel films or TV shows, once again, spoiler alert, it's in Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
pretty much in their
Hydra
whole
had,
existence.
yeah, like Hydra had infiltrated Shield in the 40s, and guess what? Agents of
Back in the
Shield is
first
taking,
Avenger.
yep,
I mean first Captain America.
exactly, and they infiltrated it way back then, and that's why I'm hoping, there might be some kind of mention because they're like in 1930s, 1940s
Yeah, they're
New York.
prohibition.
Yeah, so in that,
FDR's not even president yet. He's still the mayor of New York.
yeah, so I'm wondering if there might be some sort of mention to Stephen Rogers, maybe, because this is his time
Peggy
period.
Carter.
Peggy Carter, this is their mention. This is
I
their
think
time.
they no, I don't think they mentioned Howard Stark yet.
No, no.
There was no
But
real
you know
mention of
what? They
him.
might be. They might be though, because he was one of the founding members, along with Peggy Carter.
Yeah,
So I would imagine that they would show at least those two in that
at
retrospect.
least.
Yeah. So that's some good news.
Well, we do
Um.
have Malik.
Yeah, we do have Malik. Yeah. Hey,
Malik's
Malik.
dad. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Malik's dad. This is.
And
It's gonna be a fun season.
for those who don't know, Malik was the starter of Hydra, pretty much like one of the cells in like modern day. He tried to take over in the event, not Avengers.
I think
Agent
he was.
Coulson and them killed him. He
Yeah,
was
I think
killed
he was.
4 or 5, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
And it turns out
No,
he was
three or
actually,
four.
yeah, I think it was Powers Booth that played him. I can't remember the
Yeah.
actor that played him, but he was actually
He
one.
even
Oh,
had a
he was,
son in the show.
yeah. It was actually he was like on the council that Nick Fury had to talk to. He was on that council,
Yeah.
so
And
he
it
was on
turned
that
out to
little
be
committee,
Hydra.
right?
And
He
then that was
didn't
a
even
matter of
know.
fact, it was after the Winter Soldier when all that was found out and he was found out. So that was about
Exactly,
season 3 when they did
exactly.
the big Hydra reveal, and then that's the last time they stopped doing after movie tie-ins
Yeah,
because it was
and
too much.
that's when you found out like who the hell else is in Hydra? Like
Yeah,
everybody was in it. You're just like you looking cross at everybody. But
it was so many.
that was fun. Some other news. They're talking about. So here's the thing: the Mandalorian already has Katie Sackhoff coming on board, playing Bo-Katan from Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars. There's already been mention of Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka Tano, also from those two shows, playing a live action version of herself or of that character. Now there's talk of bringing Ezra Bridger from 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 Rebels onto a live action star, and he would be somewhere around 40 years old. That's about right, considering the time frame. So there's talk of that bringing that character on because right now what Disney Plus and Lucasfilms are looking to do is bring a lot of their Star Wars shows to live action and bring it to their Disney Plus streaming service, which is a good idea. This is a good
Oh,
move.
it's amazing. See, Disney Plus is when they started snatching all their shows off of Netflix and those sites, and it's just like, oh, what are they doing? This is stupid. Nobody wants a Disney streaming service. They don't have enough content, but they do because
Do
they
they
got
really do?
Marvel. Star Wars came aboard. They got The Simpsons. Like Disney Plus, I have it. I think my wife and them love it. Like Disney Plus has been like a lot of underrated. I believe it's been underrated Because a lot of people have it, but they haven't been watching it. Then the Mandalorian came out, and like Disney sales just started boosting through the roof.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have it. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it because I think we had this talk before. I'm not really a Star Wars guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lost me with the early ones, and then like the newer. No, it was more the newer ones.
It's a 40-year-old story.
Yeah,
So
so it's kind of like
you kind of have to
when
be
they had
invested.
that gap, it was just like all this new stuff and purple lightsabers, and
Hey,
it's just like
we don't knock Sam Jackson. We don't we
no,
don't
no,
we
no.
don't we don't
Sam
knock
Jackson
Mace
is
Windu.
no
We
Mace
want
was a
more
bad
ones.
boy,
And I'm mad. I want more Mace Windu. I want some more. I am
and
one
he
of those.
fought like heck to get that purple lightsaber. Like
Yes,
they
he
weren't gonna
did.
do it for a minute,
It's Sam
but
Jackson. He pretty much said, "Hey, motherfucker, I want
hey
this
man,
purple
mother,
lightsaber."
give me the lightsaber. But it was the story. It just felt like after the original, I don't think it was meant for that gap to happen. I think we talked about that before. They didn't
Yeah,
mean it was meant to be a kind of a continuous story, but
yeah, yeah,
whatever, Hollywood and everything, powers to be, politics. It
yeah,
was like a gap. And that just gap kind of for me, there was other things to watch.
yeah.
I kind
That's
of got
yeah,
kind of fell in love with Superman, and it gave me a chance to, really just go back and look at things of that nature. And it's just trying to go back for me now. I kind of watch the cartoons a little bit because my son watches them, and that's how I got slowly back into it. But I haven't been invested like a lot of people have. I want to, but I've been burned. I'm scorned. I'm a scorned lover. Like right now,
right.
Star Wars has burned me one too many times, and it just seems to drag on. And it's just like I'm gonna get back to it one day. Hopefully, we rekindle our friendship. At least be friends. Let's just be friends.
So
See what
for the
happens.
listeners out there, this is a disclaimer. He's not a hater. He
No,
did say he's waiting to come back. We got to bring him back in. We got to bring him back in. So he's
here's
not
the thing,
lost.
people.
It's
I
like it's you're living the Star Wars mantra right now. It's like you've done the Luke Skywalker thing where you've kind of taken
I
yourself.
kind of walked away.
You walked away.
I put my lightsaber down and I walked away. I didn't want to pick it back up.
So
I don't want to.
he can still come back.
Like it's still there. It's dusty as a mug. There's always a chance I'll pick it back up and get the good fight going. But nothing I say, and I want people like new subscribers like, oh, this guy's a hater. Why is he on this show? He knows nothing. I'm not a hater. My job. See, Chris is the knowledge. I'm more of the realistic, holistic approach. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I never said I didn't like Star Wars. I actually love Star Wars. I just can't give it to the new generation. I'm old school. Like it felt like the new stuff was kind of the story was off. I don't know if George Lucas wasn't fully behind it, but to me it just felt like the old was a classic.
I get what
It
you're
was
saying. I
great.
get what you're
It
saying. I
was.
don't think I get exactly what you're
It
saying.
didn't have all the animation in it.
I don't
And
think
then
George
there was
Lucas.
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, we're not going there.
So that's what really threw me over the top.
That was for the children. That was for the
Yeah,
children.
that was
Like ODB say that
strictly for the kids.
it's strictly for the kids. ODB is for the children. But I don't think George Lucas meant for it to be a 40-plus-year story. He always meant for it to be a 9-part story, but I don't think he meant for it to go
It's deep.
on as long as it did. But at the same time, it's almost poetic. It's almost poetic when you like read some of these stories where like these Arthurian type stories where the powers that be are always in power or something, and it just takes somebody to take them down. And it just takes a while, and then finally the culmination of that is they won. They finally won. But I digress on that one. Uh, Universal Studios and Ryan Gosling have teamed up. Ryan Gosling is going to be in The Wolfman for Universal Studios. Now, a couple of years ago, Universal Studios has tried to do the shared universe thing with starting with The Mummy with Tom Cruise. Now, I've seen that version.
It's
not. It's not a bad version. It's not. It's really not a bad version. Here's where it goes bad, though. People like Brendan Fraser's version. I love that version.
I like
and it
Brendan
was
Fraser's version.
it's fun, it's action packed, it's comedic,
I think,
and I think it was just not. I think it was just bad marketing
yeah, it was weird because I remember seeing like the commercials and stuff for that,
because
and then
they
it was dark.
they kept relabeling it as the reboot, and it's
Yeah,
not really a reboot because Tom Cruise's character is not the same character as Brendan Fraser. It's there's no connection whatsoever. So it's not really a reboot. It's just a retelling. And like I said, I think it's just bad.
repackage.
It's a repackage. It's just bad marketing, and I think it was just put out to the people wrong because they're like till this day the Mummy Brendan Fraser's version is still watched. It's still fun,
Yeah,
and people love it. And I think when they had the Tom Cruise version, whom people like Tom Cruise too, it was just
yeah, I can do without him, but that's
yeah,
just me
it
personally.
doesn't hurt. I
He
think what
he
it
he lost me with the whole jumping on the couch with Oprah thing. That's where I stopped taking Tom Cruise serious at all as like an actor. It was just like, dude,
and now his
are
wife
you
is
on
and
drugs?
now his ex-wife is dating Jamie Foxx. But
Oh yeah, hey,
that's weird.
Kate. Oh man, Katie Holmes. She's like a, you know what? Okay, yeah. So let's move on. That's another
Really
show
don't
for
know.
another topic.
Really don't know.
Yeah, because I don't want to get sued because Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise
Okay.
replied this. Tom Cruise seemed like a vindictive type of person. If you mention her and him in the same sentence, he wants some kind of royalties. He just seemed like a short-tempered guy. Like my favorite Tom Cruise is on Family Guy, the little short one, the little short Tom Cruise Family Guy. That's my favorite Tom Cruise.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
that's the most accurate depiction of Tom Cruise there is. Like inside, he's a short midget. And I'm sorry, Tom Cruise, if you find this, don't sue me, but you are. It is what it is.
but
Don't
it,
care.
but all, but so Ryan Gosling has signed on with Universal. They're going to produce the Wolfman, and this is basically on the backs of the Invisible Man, which was a big hit. So they're talking of doing the Wolfman. Not really sure right now if they're trying to repackage their shared universe idea
Yeah, because I
or
remember
if they're
that. Yeah.
gonna go that route. But it's a wait and see
I don't know.
process.
I
This
feel
is
like
news
it
that's
could
just
work
coming
though,
out,
because
so
it's not
it
like
could. We're not really
because
sure.
when people think shared universe, now all of a sudden they're thinking Marvel and DC.
Yeah, and
This
that's
is
what
like
I think. That's
a
what
horror
Universal was. Yeah,
universe. This is the
yeah.
Wolfman, Dracula, the
I was
Mummy, the
reading.
Invisible Man.
They actually said in an article that Dracula Untold didn't do that well, and I was really surprised because that movie is boss as hell. Luke Evans as Dracula, and you're telling his backstory as he became to be was really kick ass. And I'm like, wow, this
I think
they thought this, but see, this is once again, this is one of those things where it doesn't do well in the theaters, but once it hits, Redbox or
Holmes
rentals or anything like that, home,
becomes folk
it does
heroes.
way better. It's the same. It happened with Anchorman. Anchorman
Oh,
did not do great at the box office, but once it hit rental, it was blown out the water.
here's Anchorman is probably one of the most quoted movies in the last 10, 10, 15 years, whenever it came out. Like
It's
there's
the it's
people still
it's the fleet.
saying
It's the
I'm
fleet and
very
the
important. I have
crossover issue.
a bunch of leather bound books in my office. They smell like mahogany. That's one of my favorite lines. Like before I met my wife, that was a line I used.
The mahogany book.
Yeah.
I'm a
I don't know if
man.
you noticed. Yeah. What
I
is
built
that?
the
Tiger
Eiffel
chunks?
Tower with
Panther
my
chunks?
hand.
What was it called?
Panther.
Panther chunks?
Yeah,
It
no,
was that
Sex
some
Panther.
real chunks of Sex Panther with real chunks of panther.
Bits of
It's like,
Panther
oh,
all through it.
that is
Smells
odious.
like a go. Yeah,
It burns the
like a gorilla.
nostrils.
Yes. That movie's
Then
hilarious.
you had Brick. Who cannot love Brick?
I
Loud
love I, I love
noises.
I love Lamp.
Well, yeah, what was it? Pants party.
Pants party, right?
He's like, are you invite me to a party in pants? Yes. Did Brian tell you to say this? Yes. No.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a it's the pleats that make it look that way in the crotchal region.
Yeah. You
It
had
is. It's
Champ,
probably between
whammy.
the.
Like that movie. The second one, and
There's
that's another one of those.
actually, if you look deep enough, there's two of them. I actually seen both versions before the actual second one that was released on the movies in the movies. There was another version that was released on YouTube a couple of
Oh
years
shoot.
back, but you had to watch it in sections, and that
Uh,
one was insane. It was just as insane as the first one. So it's like
yeah.
Anchorman and a half is what it is.
Oh, I think I seen that. It was some kind of DVD. I think they might have tried to put it on a DVD
They
later
might
on.
have, but
But the second one was, I
it was
didn't really.
it was funny, but it wasn't funny.
It
It
wasn't
was funny.
quotable
Yeah,
as
it
the
wasn't quotable.
first one.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because I think he went blind or something in the second one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it just didn't
he's
make
living in a
sense.
loud lighthouse and everything.
Yeah.
Ron was way past his time.
Yeah, the first one was cool. The first one I loved. I'll still watch it. Matter of fact, I think it came on TV today.
Yeah,
CBS was doing like
they always show
Will
it.
Ferrell, Talladega Nights, Get
Oh,
Hard.
oh yeah,
Uh,
they were getting their ratings. That's what they were doing.
oh my God, everybody's been showing all it. I think I just turned mine off. I think it was like TNT was showing a whole bunch of Wonder Woman and Justice League, Batman versus Superman, which we won't talk about.
they're still on quarantine viewings. That's what
Uh,
they are. Unless
oh
we got to
yeah,
throw all the good stuff on. Keep people busy.
they're throwing, man, they're throwing everything at the wall right now.
Right. Well, on the more news, Tom Ellis is seemingly on board for potential Lucifer season 6 at Netflix. This sixth season and final season at Netflix. For many of those know, Lucifer, that very same Lucifer, is also a DC Comics character. And so he's not in the Arrowverse show, but he does make an appearance during the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Spoiler alert. It's been long enough, people.
Oh yeah. I hate we
but
have to do that in this time
I
of the day.
believe,
But people are like, oh my God, I didn't see it. It's been 6 months. Like,
yeah, I
what are you
believe
doing with your life? Get out of the rock.
I believe Lucifer was canceled on season 3 or 4 on Fox. So
Yeah.
Netflix was in their heyday basically, and they were just like, "Hey, we're going to pick it up. We're picking it up, and we're going to run with it." And so they ran with it. They took it. Matter of fact, it was season 4, and then they did season 5. They're doing season 5, but they've had to stop season 5 due to obviously COVID-19. But their negotiations are currently going on between Ellis and the Warner Brothers and Netflix, and even though it's been a little complicated, it seems that the actor is still on board with doing
Yeah, I
the
think he said
sixth
he
and
wants to
final
do
season.
it.
Yeah, on the sixth and final season. And on some related news, Dennis Haysbert is cast as God in Lucifer season 5. Now, for those who don't know, he is he to me and my wife, he's known as President Palmer from 24.
In my
For
house, he's the nationwide guy.
Yes, he's the nationwide guy.
Or if you really want to be good, he's Mr. McCall from Love and Basketball.
Yeah,
Quincy's dad, who got a lot of action. Let's talk about this man for a minute, because I love that movie. And that guy in this movie was like the best and the worst dad all in the same movie. It's just his story arc in that movie was so amazing.
Rough.
He went from like being the perfect dad, just out here smashing groupies on the road, to being the moral compass for a guy whose life he had left before he went to college.
Exactly.
But
That's going to be
story.
fun. Dennis Haysbert is also one of those actors who has this commanding voice beyond yours truly. And
him and Morgan Freeman in the same room, it's a lot of furniture moving. Let's say that. Let's say it's a lot of, hey, you guys see that, and furniture start flying around and stuff, he put on balloons and all. It's just a joke.
It's called the thunder. We can't help it. We were born with it. So now here's some big news, and it kind of ties in together. First off, HBO Max launched this week. That's big news.
Very big.
What follows behind that big news is that Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League is going to be shown, I believe, in 2021. Now,
21. I'm getting
I
goosebumps
think he was
already.
given 20 to 30 million dollars for not, I think to for not so much reshoots, but to just kind of clean up some stuff, maybe add a few things. And talks are running rampant right now. There are a lot of scenes that have been mentioned and talked about by Zack Snyder himself that never made the cutting floor because he left
Yeah.
the Justice League movie before his whole vision could be brought out, and Joss Whedon was brought in. So,
Oh, Josh Whedon.
and I love Joss, but
I
it
love
just
him. It
I'm
just,
a big
it felt
Joss
like
fan,
switching from Marvel to DC. He didn't know what to do.
and it was in midway, and it was just. And I'm a very big proponent of you never change your directors in the middle of a movie. You never get the
Never.
same product, and that's what happened. And from what we've seen over, I think it was what 2 3 years
Yeah.
from Zack Snyder, from Jason Momoa, from Henry Cavill, from
Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck. They said, "Oh, we shot this scene." Even what is the guy that plays Commissioner Gordon? J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons is Commissioner Gordon. I remember seeing a scene of this guy in a gym, and he's jacked.
Oh yeah.
He's in shape. Like,
Yeah.
wow. And he was in the shape. They said he was getting in shape probably for the show he has on, I believe, Stars or Epics, one of those two. And also as the role as Commissioner Gordon. And I'm like, his scene wasn't even that long in Justice
He
League,
wasn't
which
in the
was
movie that
very
long. He was.
disappointing.
I think he had 2 scenes.
Yeah, if that. And they were on the roof. They were on the
He
roof.
had the scene on the roof, and he had the scene at the dam after Steppenwolf came.
Yeah, and that was it.
That was
And
the
I'm
last time we
like,
seen
I'm
him.
sure he wasn't getting jacked just for those two scenes or something. He had to have been in some kind of action role at some point. So there's talks of that happening, and it's real. It's gone down. It's happening. We're going to get a Zack Snyder vision. We're going to get a Snyder cut of
Dark
Justice League.
Side,
Dark Side. We get an appearance
a
of Dark
different
Side.
look at Steppenwolf.
A definitely different. They said a different look of Steppenwolf, possibly a different ending for Steppenwolf.
Yeah,
Talks
I
of
think.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere it's like 4 hours worth of footage,
Yeah, and they're now
and they
now
might
that
make it a movie on its own
yeah, and they either
or a
they I
6-part series.
yeah, yep, that's what I was gonna say. They were either going to use the cut and chop it up, or possibly do a 6-part series. That's still up to for debate. We'll wait and see what's happening. But attached to that news, Henry Cavill is possibly back.
That's what I was waiting on
He's possibly back as Superman. And
for
now
his
that's not
multiple
saying we're
movies.
getting a Superman Man of Steel 2. They're saying that he may be in a capacity like Samuel Jackson is as Nick Fury for the Marvel Universe. He may be the Nick Fury of the DCU. I'm fine
In and
with that.
out.
I'm completely fine with that.
As long as
If
we have a
it
Superman, I'm good.
yeah. And if this means we get an actual Man of Steel 2, perfect. Because I'm actually a fan of Man of Steel. I liked it.
Yeah,
If
I loved
in
it.
reality, if you watch Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League, you're really watching his story in the
Yeah,
background. It's really his story. If you take all his stuff that he did for those three movies, that's his story you're watching. The first Man of Steel is him just coming out. It's his first foray as Superman. He's trying to find himself. He's not the Boy Scout everybody knows. Batman versus Superman. He's trying to get used to the role. Everybody's either looking to him as a god or looking into it as a threat. Man of Steel, or I'm sorry, Justice League. He's brought back from dead,
spoiler
and
alert. You gotta say
spoiler
spoiler
alert,
alert because people are
spoiler alert.
just
Yeah,
under rocks nowadays.
late to the ball, Cinderella. Um, but by the end of the film, you realize he's comfortable with who he is now, and he is the Boy Scout that we know and love and we follow. So that was my take on it. that was my take on it. And I really wished that we did get this Zack Snyder version. No offense, Joss Whedon. I love your work. I am a diehard Brown coat. I'm a diehard Scooby. Those who watch Buffy know what I'm talking about. But this probably wasn't the best. It probably would have been the best fit for him had he been on it from the beginning. But to take over for another director,
it's hard.
Yeah, the tone change. It's a different tonal change, and that's what it was.
Way different.
So it's that's our news.
Oh, one more piece of news. J.K. Simmons is reportedly signed on to play everybody's favorite newspaper guy, J. Jonah Jameson.
That is right. That is correct. That did happen. Oh, that is some good news. I forgot about that. And I actually put that on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page.
I just read that. Yeah.
But let's face it. Who else did you see playing J. Jonah Jameson? It wasn't going to be anybody else.
His commissioner Gordon leaves a lot to be decided because he was only in 2 scenes. But him is J. Jonah Jameson.
He nails it.
Wait, who was J. Jonah Jameson in the
it was
Tom Holland? It was him and Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the end.
Yeah, at the end of Far From Home, when they do that little blurb on the screen up there, it's him. It's just it's a different type of Daily Bugle thing, but it's him.
It doesn't matter as long as it's him. He plays that role so well.
J.K. Simmons playing J. Jonah Jameson he's built for it like Ryan Reynolds is built for Deadpool. Like Patrick Stewart is built for Professor X. Sometimes you're just born for a role.
For a role, yeah.
And
that's his role. That is the role that no matter where he goes in any other show, I feel like he's kind of playing that character. His Commissioner Gordon was a little on the.
But like you said, we didn't get enough of him.
So yeah.
To get that in, but
it was on a peripheral.
Yeah. So that is our news, people. I think I'll put like a little news thing in there. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'll do it in post. So today's main topic, we are talking about the top moments, 5 top moments in superhero films over time that are best to us. I don't know if you did you want to go first or you want me to go first?
My list is actually, I can go first.
Okay, go ahead. Do your 5, I'll do my 5. That way we can just do it that way.
Well, I'm going because in my phone they let me only do from 1 to 5, but it's 5 to 1.
Okay.
The way I'm going to say it. Number 5 would be Deadpool. Deadpool with the Juggernaut showing up for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like a real Juggernaut. Because the X-Men Juggernaut was, so. I mean, like, big helmet, nasty, mean, no games being played, ass kicking Juggernaut. That's the Juggernaut I wanted. 4 would be the fight scene in the park in the first Avengers.
Okay.
That scene to me set the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
You got Tony Stark making Shakespeare jokes. You had Cap and Thor fighting, and Loki just sitting there watching.
Right.
So it kind of was a good.
The mother would know you weareth her drapes.
Like, you don't know what you do. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Shakespeare in the park. So it was like, to me, it was iconic because it being the first Avenger movie, it's the first time they're all coming together, and you're wondering, like, you have all these personalities, and none of them know about each other, and now it's just like they're face to face for the first time. It's just like, how do they interact? And we see it was volatile. It's just like, but it was also a team building thing because you see later on throughout that movie and the whole story, they kind of work together. 3, which no matter how you flip it, works out the same, was Doctor Strange opening the portals and all the Avengers coming out for the first Endgame. That scene, well, first you had Black Panther walking out because he was
that brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man and I am willing to admit that. That
whole end of that movie made me tear up a little bit. My kids was like, "Dad, what's wrong? You got something in your eye? There's popcorn dust or something in there, and I don't know what's going on." But that
Oh boy,
scene to me,
Blue.
yeah. Oh, that's my favorite line from a movie ever. I don't care what movie it is. You're my boy, Blue. But that scene when they're opening up all the portals start opening up, it was like the second biggest pop towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It got a good reaction.
Oh, it got a great reaction.
But this scene got the best reaction, which was Cap building Mew Mew. And I can never say that name. I can never say that name.
Thanks to Kat Dennings, he can use that Mew Mew.
Yeah, that's because and I think that's why I say it because of her. And she's my favorite character in the Thor movie. I don't know why I love Kat.
Sidebar, she's going to be playing that same character in WandaVision series on Disney Plus.
Oh, I gotta watch.
They're bringing Darcy back, everybody.
I love Darcy. She would snap quick with it, and all her characters are like that.
Oh yeah, she's always snappy. I like her.
Broke Girls, like I loved her on that. But yeah, Cap using the hammer, because I can butcher that name all day long. But with Cap wielding the hammer, it got the biggest pop in the theater. No matter what theater you were in, no matter how many times people see the movie, no matter where it was at, that scene got the biggest pop.
Yeah.
But my number one is Tony Stark dying. The I am Iron Man, him doing the snap. To me, that
was an improvised line.
Yeah, it wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. But that's Robert Downey Jr. for you, man. He gives you full circle. I am Iron Man from the beginning to the end.
That's it.
But to me, that scene wasn't just because it was like the best. It was, like I said, it was Tony Stark coming full circle.
Yeah.
The first Iron Man, he was arrogant. He's just like, yeah, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
And you see him throughout all the rest of the movie, and you see slowly he has peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
But that line at the end wasn't the brash, cocky Tony Stark we began with.
But
it was more of a surreal, more of a mature. Yeah, like.
But you notice even in that film, he says it when he get at his funeral, I guess. His hologram says it to his daughter. More theories on that later. That he says, but this is the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the birth. You're birthed in a certain in the baptismal fire, so to speak. You find out what you really are at your most internal core, and then you change from that. And that's what he did. He progressed from that. He actually matured
so well
from that. And speaking of somebody who was born for the role.
Yeah,
in his real life. I mean, man.
Yeah.
Talk about comeback kid.
Yeah, I think, and it's crazy because I forgot about the trouble he was in when he was younger.
He was
all the drugs and the alcohol. He was like in and out of jail. He had more prison terms than he had movies at one point.
Exactly.
And it's just like he turned it around, and now he's like iconic for being Iron Man, and people forget that he even had he was even rehab and all this other stuff. Like it's just crazy how far he has come, and it's just one of them stories that you can redeem yourself from the mistakes you make earlier if you keep trying.
Exactly.
Greatness is on the other side.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. We also don't give you nerd stuff. We give you inspiration and motivation.
That's what we're about here, Blurred's Eye.
Put down the bottle, pick up the hope. You too can be Tony Stark one day.
Or Cap.
or Cap.
Or T'Challa.
Yeah.
All of them.
Anybody you want. You just might not have superpowers, but you have a crazy cool suit.
Unlike the three kids who tried to have themselves bitten by a Black Widow to get Spider-Man's powers, but we're not going there.
Pause that. Can't. No, well, I have to because I'm sorry. We have one a week where we have to tell people stop doing stupid stuff. The three kids, wherever you are, listen to me. Look at me. Good old Uncle Darius is gonna tell you something. You're not getting no superpowers from those spiders, and a Black Widow could kill you. And it ain't even a good Black Widow. If you want to get bit by a good Black Widow, find Natasha Romanoff. Like, seriously, that's the Black Widow I want to be bit by.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but hey.
I agree with you. And I agree with you. And for the children, it was dumb, but I admire your tenacity. So
I mean, as an adult, it's stupid. As a kid, the kid in me was like, "You guys are geniuses." But did it work? Is my question. Because I never know if it didn't work or not. They just said they goes bit. They didn't say if they had superpowers or not. So if I see 3 little kids swinging around, I'm finding me a Black Widow. I'm getting bit. I'm telling you now.
And here's the
Signing up
thing:
for that all
you
day.
managed to get bit by the same spider, all three of you. So
Yeah.
now
So
you have a test and control. So between the three of you, somebody got to end up
got
with
powers. Little Johnny left his friends. He went swinging down the street. We know why Johnny is the man now.
Right. Oh, he's acting
He has
weird
superpowers.
now. He's a little reclusive. Well, we get why.
We get why. Yeah, he's with great power comes great responsibility.
No, he's extra buff now. He's only 8 years old. We okay. We know what's
Why
going
is Johnny
on.
so swole all of a sudden? Johnny be hitting the roids. No, Johnny got spider powers, dude.
Right.
You leave Johnny alone for he bench press you.
Exactly. All right. So that was our inspirational and our as you know what they call it now inspiration word of the week. So there it is.
Do that stupid stuff.
Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my 5. I'm reaching back, so I'm gonna reach back and go forward. So my number 1. Now this is not. I didn't list mine as the top, like from 1 to 5. I just listed them in how I've seen them in years they were released. So this little film was released in 1978, and at the time, your host, yours truly, Chris G, was only 2 years old. It was directed by Richard Donner, and that film is Superman. Superman, who was played by Christopher Reeve, who played the titular character of Clark Kent, and Superman himself, and Gene Hackman as the titular villain and land tycoon Lex Luthor. Um, the standout moment in this film is not only when Christopher Reeve first puts on the costume, but it's when he has to go through the trials of stopping all these worldwide catastrophic events only to fail in saving the love of his life, Lois Lane. Spoiler alert. Now.
Okay. This is the biggest spoiler alert in the history of this show to date.
If you have not seen this movie, I can't
50
help
years,
you.
that's like a long time. 45, 40 plus years. Okay,
yeah,
people.
about 46 years.
If you have not seen this movie by
There's
now,
something wrong. There's something wrong.
You have to be living under the earth. Not a rock, the whole earth. At the center.
So he fails to save Lois, but it turns a dime on its head. He pulls a Barry Allen. That's right, people. He flies into the earth, flies outside the Earth's orbit, flies so fast that he spins the earth in reverse to rewind time.
That's what that was from.
Turns back around, flies it back to correct its course, just so he can make it in time to stop Lois from dying. Now, they never said if anything else was affected, but to me, up until that point, that particular point, because up until the point where he's stopping the missile, he's stopping a nuclear missile from exploding. He's stopping a town from being washed out from a dam that was exploded on purpose. There was a fault line when Lois was out doing her reporter's business. Her car runs out of gas. Classic Lois. Falls into the fault line. The fault line collapses on the car and crushes her, and she suffocates and dies. And right after Superman just saved the town, he hears her. He's always listening for her, and he races to her, gets to her, pulls the car out of the fault line, and realizes it's too late. She's gone. And the guttural scream that he lets off as a child for me shook me to my core because, like I said, I'm only 2. I'm not used to that. That was my first experience of seeing death. So, but those moments, just seeing Christopher Reeve put on that suit and having that score playing in the background and everything. That was intense for me. My number two is Batman 1989, directed by Tim Burton.
Oh, that is a classic.
Yes, it is very much a classic. So much a classic that this starred Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. Now, if those who don't know, Michael Keaton was known up until that point as a very comedic actor. Mr. Mom and all these other little side movies he's done, he's always been like these joking type of things. But it starred Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, Jack Nicholson as the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker, and the legendary composer Danny Elfman giving The Dark Knight a musical score that is still used to this day and has a fantastic soundtrack by no other than Prince.
Oh, yeah.
This film has set the precedent on how Michael Keaton was viewed as not just a comedic actor, but as the brooding and serious Bat of Gotham with just 2 words: I'm Batman. Also leading the argument, Bob never did anything to deserve what he got at the end of that movie. Now, poor Bob. Poor Bob. For those who don't know, Bob was Joker's sidekick, so to speak. It was his first hand man. It was his first man.
I'm not so sure the way he got treated.
After he got treated that way, you were just like, man, you played Bob the entire time. So
Bob was like hacking he was like lackey number 6. They just used
the way he treated him. He was just like, oh, you're my number one. You're my number one, but you played him all the way till the end. Bob Gunn. Last words Bob ever said or heard.
Yeah.
My number 3.
Pour one out for Bob, y'all.
Yeah, pour one out for Bob. He earned it. He earned it. He was a soldier. He was a soldier. He was right.
He was a true loyal. Like that was the most loyalist henchman I've ever seen in the movie.
Like if it went down, he didn't keep it from him or nothing. He was like, no, this is what happened.
Bob kept it 100 and died for it.
It was somebody else's screw up, and Bob had to pay for it.
Okay.
So my number 3, my number 3 is The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan. This starred Christian Bale as Batman, the 4th actor to portray the role in the cinematic version of the films. The star, however, was not Christian Bale. Oh no. It was Heath Ledger playing no other than the Joker. Chaotic, unpredictable, and a sociopath, Heath Ledger's performance left fans like myself wanting more and planted in everyone's mind who was better, Nicholson or Ledger.
Whew.
And
I'm not answering, so
I'm
saying Ledger because Nicholson's Joker was more of a comedy to me, at least. You know, the newscast he had, the laughing gas, and everybody. Heath Ledger was just batshit crazy. Heath Ledger's Joker burnt money and he burnt bridges and didn't give a damn.
Exactly.
He wanted to burn the world down and watch it.
Exactly. He in
the middle of it, like
it literally said that Michael Keaton's version of Alfred Pennyworth even said it like when Bruce is talking to Alfred and Alfred just answers it. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And that's
nothing else. Nothing else but
that's
just true utter chaos.
Yes. So my number 4. Yeah, right. Pour one out.
Sorry. He died not long after that performance.
Exactly.
He put himself. And
won an Oscar for that.
Yeah. That's how you know his was the best. I'm sorry. But
yeah. He won an Oscar for that. That was amazing. He put himself
into that role wholeheartedly.
I wouldn't let my son go see it because I was like, yeah, this might not what you want to see, kid. This is too much for you.
Yeah. So just the beginning alone.
Yeah.
Showed that how chaotic he was gonna be.
The pencil scene.
Not even that. I mean the bank robbing scene. Well, the
bank robbing scene was genius.
The pencil scene was just fucked up. Let's just call that what it is. Grown man, I was like, oh, I'm never getting around a pencil for a while. I didn't know you could hurt somebody with a pencil like that. But no, just the way he set up the bank scene was like every man had orders to kill the man he was with.
Yeah.
So
and nobody knew
who
Who was
It's
what?
like,
Which is like a genius plan anyway.
yeah,
It's like, yeah,
like
you don't
how
ever want to rob a bank and have
it's
too many witnesses. You want to.
yeah. So you kill off the crew as you come out.
It's
Every
Reservoir
guy,
Dogs.
yeah, the guy who did the alarm got knocked off. The guy who went on thing, he got knocked. He got knocked off. The guy who opened the vault, he got knocked off. The guy who was putting the bags in, he got knocked off. Last person was Joker, and you know what he did with the money? He probably burned it after he was done. That's what was so crazy
Just
about
to
it.
say I did it.
Just to say he did it.
So, my number 4, 2012, Marvel's The Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon. Now,
Like,
let me tell you several reasons why this movie stands out. This film stands out because it's managed to do the one thing that fans like myself have only wished for, and that was the team up we all wanted and didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye forms the Avengers, with the exception of, and all these people, with the exception of Black Widow and Hawkeye, each had a solo film, which represented and alluded to what the film was always wanted, and like I said, didn't know we needed. With a perfect balance of A-list stars, comedy, and action, and a scene from Hulk we will never forget. This left me wanting more and watching it over and over again, and is mostly filmed right here in Cleveland. I remember going downtown every time I got off work just to see the set in downtown Cleveland. There's a very honorable mention on that Captain America Winter Soldier. I'll add that later. But yeah, that movie still to this day is like the linchpin. It did it. It wasn't X-Men because they started out as the team. It wasn't X-Men 2. It was this one.
It was what we
Because
needed.
it was the formula that worked. They started out with solo films, and then they started off doing the team movie, and it worked.
Yeah.
Even in the film, watching them try to gel and still fight amongst themselves, but still realize we have a bigger fish to fry. We need to handle this. It worked.
It was, to me, it was like a football team. And I
Yeah.
only say that because everybody was trying to jockey to see who was going to be the quarterback, who was in
Mm-hmm.
charge, who was the leader. Nobody wanted to work with each other. You had star deeper wide receivers. You had this big hulking linebacker who just wanted to smash stuff.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
got two ex spies who sitting on the sidelines like, why are we even here?
yeah,
We don't have any. We can't compete
yeah.
with these guys one on one.
I could have did without Hawkeye, but I mean, he served the purpose. But I mean,
Yeah.
it was like a real, it was minus, you take away the superpowers, just like the real world.
Right.
It's just like 6 people trying to figure out how to live together.
Like, we don't want to go out drinking. Well, we do. So
Man, when
they're
stuff start
gone.
going wrong, people start keeping it real. This is what happens.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want barbecue. And just fighting. But it was cool because they was able to tell a story with people who were extraordinary, but still had, I wouldn't say everyday problems, but it was team building problems, trying to work
Exactly.
together, trying
Exactly.
to get along with your coworker.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
and
that's pretty
Cap
much what it was.
and it actually set it up later for Civil War because you seen the tension between
That
Cap,
still was there.
yeah, between Cap and Iron Man, but it was all, and it always went over. It always spilled over until they
Even
finally
if
got,
Avengers,
yeah.
Age of Ultron, you could see that division.
It was the yeah.
So
It
like
was
in every movie, you still had that up until the end.
that was the boiling point. That was the boiling point. So my number 5, and we had the same number. We had the same listing. Is Avengers Endgame, directed by the Russo brothers. Now, the Russo brothers, for those who don't know, are originally from Cleveland, so they're hometown boys. So that's one other connection there. And here it is. 10 years and 23 movies later led to the completion of what is now known as the Infinity Saga. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the MCU for short, has managed to set the bar to a level that has not yet been met as far as superhero films are concerned. Down and out 5 years later, the remaining Avengers find themselves with the last chance to set things right and bring everyone back with a time heist
Plain and
coined by
simple.
Ant-Man. It was coined by Ant-Man and Tony Stark. With lots of close calls, but the standout scene for me takes place during the final battle with Cap, Thor, and Iron Man facing off against Thanos. Iron Man is incapacitated. Thor is close to having the axe blade of Stormbreaker pushed through his chest when all of a sudden, Mjolnir, or Mew Mew, comes flying through, smacking Thanos and landing in the hands of no other than Captain America. Now, that's not the only scene, but that was the scene that set the bar.
Yeah, that was the scene in that movie that, like I said, got the biggest pop.
When that happened for me in that movie theater, sitting next to my wife, and by the way, this is possibly their longest film in the MCU. This is their longest film, clocking in at 3 hours.
Well worth it.
Yeah, very well worth it.
3 hours.
Oh man. And seeing that scene, and I'm sitting in the theater, and I literally just, you get to this point where you don't care who sees you when you react to certain stuff.
That was the scene.
That was the scene. Like, and I wasn't alone because, like, it was the most deafening scream in the theater.
Oh man, everybody. Yes.
And I'm clenched fists, and we're screaming, and we're trying to be quiet because at the same time, we know this scene is not over. And not only Cap catching the hammer set the scene, but the way he wielded it is as if he's done this before, which he had.
He had precision. He was calling thunder and throwing it and coming back.
I don't think Thanos knew what he was dealing with at first because he was catching them hands. Let's just face it. He was catching them hands.
Thor even seemed surprised. He's like, I'm
like, I knew it.
It's like when you let somebody use your yo-yo and they can do more tricks than you can do with your own yo-yo. That's what that scene was like.
And he wasn't even upset. He was just like,
he's just like,
yes, okay. I knew it. I knew you had it in you. I knew you were worthy. And the way he handled Thanos for them few moments,
it was breathtaking.
The shield and the hammer. And combined them. Not separately. He combined. This tells you this man is a tactician down to his core. Like 70 plus years of war has taught this man how to fight. And when you're throwing a hammer, I'll put it like this. When you throw the shield and you throw the hammer at the shield and the opponent thinks you're throwing a hammer at him and it's not, you're throwing it at the shield because you know the effect it's going to have.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's tactical. He was like, I'm going to throw the shield because I know he's going to duck. And I'm going to throw this hammer because I know he's going to duck. But I'm not throwing it at him. I'm throwing the hammer at the shield.
For force. For force.
And then while that knocks him off his balance, I'm calling it back. And that's tactical move. That's hands right there. I'm just like, so who's the better fighter? Cap. I'm like, this man had put it in. He put in work. Calling, like you said, calling thunder to the point that even Thanos was like, whoa, I got to get, who's also a tactician himself. You like, I got to get a handle on this. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, he came with a little more than I bargained for today.
Right. It was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You moved a little too fast. Let me show you what I can do. And when he started turning the tide a little bit, he had to put that force in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the standout scene that really pushed the bar that much higher and that much stronger. And I gotta say, everything after that moment, the bar just kept getting raised higher and higher, and to the point where I'm just like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I've been holding this in. I'm gonna hold it a little longer.
It's well worth it. I told my daughter when we went, I said, if you go to the bathroom, I'm sorry, but you'll go alone. Take your brother with you, because I'm not leaving this theater until this movie ends.
Because you should have left earlier when it was one of the down points. This is not it.
You should have left when they was getting time heist together.
Right.
This is not the time to want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, after I done seen Cap with the hammer. Nah, you're gonna hold it a little longer. Now it's too late.
And then to see him actually get handled, him handling Thanos, and then Thanos turns around, pretty much just breaks the shield in half. But Cap gets back up, restraps a half broken shield, restraps it, and he's just like, I can do this all day. You're facing off with an army and you're still in the fight. You're just like, whatever. My dude, you get it.
Stay down.
It was one of them things. See, and that's the thing. That was one of them things where you just like, Cap, I know you're going to fight to the tooth and nail to your death, but this might not, you might want to stay down just for a minute. Get your breath. Let your boys get up for a minute. Let your boys wake up.
But then we seen Cap throughout every movie. And his thing is, I can do this all day. He gonna keep getting back up.
He ain't got no quit. He has no quit in him, people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
He's from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn.
It's the Brooklyn way. I'm not giving up until you kill me. And even then, I'm gonna come back and I'm still gonna fight.
I'm gonna figure this out. So those were, and there's many more. There's some honorable mentions. I didn't mention X-Men 2, the opening scene to X-Men 2, which was Nightcrawler. I didn't mention the breakout jail scene in Watchmen.
Yeah.
I didn't mention Dredd, not Judge Dredd, Dredd with Carl Urban, which there's probably going to be a part 2 to this particular podcast. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, because I didn't mention, of course, my favorite scene ever, which was the beginning of Deadpool 1. Just him chilling up on the freeway.
The 13 bullets, because that's all they had the budget for. In real life, that's all they had the budget for was one gunfight scene.
Yeah, I mean, they played that movie to me. I'm a Deadpool fan. And that movie, being able to see a real version of Deadpool, I know that should have been, it was beautiful.
And for those who know me on a personal level, and if you've paid attention and if you've seen some of my video podcasts on YouTube, if you're wondering why I didn't mention Black Panther, it's because it's too obvious. So
look behind them, people.
It's too obvious. It's too easy. So I gotta get.
That's low hanging fruit.
Right.
Like, that's obvious. Yeah, that's like the SATs when you get 15 points for putting your name on it.
Exactly.
Hey, that's easy. That's easy.
I can't just do that. I'm like, that's cheating. So. But that was our shot for the day. That was our show for the day. Thank you everyone for listening in to Blurred's Eye View. I'm your host Chris G. And my co-host Darius DC Chambers.
We'll see you.
Check us out on Facebook on the Blurred's Eye View. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Anchor and Spotify and iTunes or anywhere else where you have a podcast streaming. And pretty soon, check us out on Instagram. We have an Instagram page as well. If you want to we're everywhere. We're legion. Is what we are.
ASA yet? We're getting close.
Oh yeah. Pretty soon, people, you'll be able to send in some of your voicemails and let us know what it is you want to hear from us, and we'll tweet whatever. Yeah, we got Twitter. Yeah, I forgot the Twitter page. My goodness. Yeah, check out our Twitter page.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah, we're everywhere, man. I'm telling you, legion. So until then, Chris G, DC, Blurred's Eye View, out.
Tony Stark style. Peace in our time.